can you tell us when you arrived in Korea and what kind of brought you there?
Uh, yes, ma'am. So I came here in Korea the second week of January of this year. So pretty much my sister, she's still in the military and she's actually stationed here. And she was going on a about almost 3 weeks course back in the United States. So you know how hard it is to find, somebody to take to look
Yeah.
after you that long. So she asked me and she proposed to me, can I please fly you and Grace, my daughter, to Korea so you can help me out while I'm gone, being the kind sister. And I was like, okay, sure, why not, my love? So we got here. She went to her course, everything was good to go.
Okay. And was this your first time in Korea or had you been prior?
No, this is actually my second time. Now, the first time, remember I just told you life was sending me lemons, so I had to make
Yeah.
lemonade.
Yeah.
So she found out last minute that she was gonna be stationed here. So I was like, okay, well, why not? I plan on traveling. So if you think you're gonna need my help, because this was her first time traveling abroad along with the kids. So I was like, well, if you think you're gonna need my help, I decided I'm gonna be traveling with my daughter. So if you need my help, I can make Korea our first destination.
Okay.
So
Okay.
quickly. She agreed quickly. So me and my daughter got here before they did, and then once they came, they joined us, or we joined them. So that's how the story got started. And I was
Oh,
here until summer of 2019. But
okay.
you know what? I'm done. There's more to see. I love you, but I gotta go. So her kids went home to the United States for the summer. So that's when me and my daughter had the opportunity I had to fly back with them anyway. And then once we dropped them off, me and my daughter, we continued with our travels.
Okay, so you're in there. Okay, this is perfect because there'll be definitely a lot of people within the Ebony Expats organization that kind of like relate to that, definitely. So we've been trying to gather expat experiences, traveler experiences, particularly of those people who have had their trips interrupted or were kind of forced to shelter in place. So can you tell us a little bit about like the moment you realized you wouldn't be able to return home, and tell us a bit of like where were you, how you were thinking in the moment?
Yes, ma'am. So this time, I did not plan to stay in Korea for this long. I was just going to come here. My sister got back. When it was time to travel back, we were going to go back. But then I kept checking my email because, as things kept unfolding, I got an email saying that our flight was canceled. So I was in my sister's room and I told her, she was like, hallelujah. God had, she said, God have heard my prayers. I'm like, what the heck do you mean?
That's sisters for you though.
I know, yeah. So at that time, she was already.
Okay, and so when you found yourself, when you found that you were going to be in Korea a little bit longer and being there now, um has it had like a really big impact on what your plans were for the rest of the year, or was it particularly stressful for you? Or yeah, what was your like reaction to be like being like, oh, I might be here for some time?
Yes, I mean, hearing my sister said, God heard my prayer. At first, I was mad, but then when she said that, I was like, wow, I have no other reason to be, to be mad because it was a little frustrating because I'm working on my business. I was ready to head back, launch my business, or hire people, launch my business, but I couldn't do that. So it was a bit frustrating, and then which meant the kids stopped going to school. So it was only me most of the time with 5 kids doing online schooling, and
Oh,
then of the house, making sure they eat, you know, like you have kids yelling and calling your names, like, but it's something I had to quickly get used to it because I
Yeah.
had other choice. And then my sister, I understand that's what she chose to do, but like nobody was expecting, what took place.
Yeah. Right, a complete shutdown, and it's like really inflexible because it has to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I really feel for you being having to be like a full-time teacher and caretaker to 5 children. That's heroism if I've ever heard it. Okay, and so looking as like, and so you would consider like one of your homes South Carolina. And so a part of Ebony Expats is also just sharing those perspectives of Black travelers and expats. So what is your perspective on how the United States is kind of handling coronavirus in comparison in comparison to where you're at?
So, I mean, if I have to be honest, in comparison to Korea, I know there are the governments and everybody else involved. They are trying their best to do what they can, but compared to Korea, I mean, Korea has surpassed my I don't know, my thinking. They're doing such a great job trying to contain these so-called coronavirus, and the people are very responsive. It's like you go out on the streets, you barely see anybody. And then also being near a military base, we have to um cooperate with the Korean laws and then the military laws. If you part of the military family, you have to wear your mask, stay home, unless you need to go out. And then before you get into the base, they check your temperature and they ask you questions. So,
Well,
yeah.
even so, if you ever when you every time you come back on base, regardless of how frequent that can be.
Yes,
Oh,
every single, yeah, if you get out, you come back, they have to check your temperature. And then if they find out that you tested positive, then they would not let you on base. They had an area to where they're taking care of those people. And to prevent the spread, of the coronavirus, um, they so everybody has an access card, right? They scan your card before you go in, whatever, just to make sure you say who you are and blah blah blah. So, but once you become positive, you are not allowed on base. So that's one of the major ways they are trying to prevent coronavirus from spreading.
right. And so and one thing that hit me is because even though testing is available here in Thailand, it's not doesn't seem as widespread, like widely available as it is in Korea. So is it possible for you to like leave base, get tested in to test positive just to be not allowed back on base? Is that a possibility?
It is a possibility, but let me tell you though, like speaking of the Korean side anyway. So my daughter broke out, and I called the Korean hospital to see if she could be seen. They were like, nope, we are not letting anybody inside of the hospital. So what you can do, for example, if you bring her here Monday morning, early morning, they'll test you from your car, and then you go home. They'll get your number. They text you your results. If it's negative, then she can be seen the next day, and it has to be within 24 hours.
Oh, that's
So
extremely efficient. Wow, that's pretty amazing. And so it must be a bit nice to be if you are going to be stranded in a country that you weren't quite planning on it to be with family. But what advice would you give to travelers, Black expats now that have had to extend their stay or stranded where they are?
yes, ma'am. So I'm praying and hoping, they are still able to manage that lifestyle, but just be positive. We are all suffering, especially the traveling community. Like,
Yeah.
just be positive and follow and respect, what is being said to do. because the sooner we can hopefully contain this coronavirus, then hopefully life will get back to normal. Because as for me, I'm ready to travel. Like, I look at
Yeah.
flights daily. I look at flights daily, and I'm like, maybe I should just book this one. It's not till September or December, you know.
Right.
Just remain positive. You are not alone. Everybody is. It has affected everybody. So
Yeah.
it's real. It's serious because sometimes I know us Black folks. Oh, it ain't gonna do nothing to us, but as we seen, it does not discriminate.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not discriminate. So please, if you don't have to go outside, don't go.
Just don't go. Good. That
So
man.
many things. Yes, ma'am. There's so many things you can do indoors, especially if you have kids, man. You can become very creative, like anything. Like, I've been working on my business, trying to work on my business because it's not easy. To all my mothers and parents, I'm praying for you.
Yeah. And so what would you say is your sense of hope during this time? And what gives you like strength, or where do you draw your strength from now?
Well, of course, you pray daily before and after going to bed and waking up. And I talk to my parents, especially my mom. I'm still her baby, no matter how old I get. So, so we talk daily. Sometimes she's worried, but we just ensure her that, hey, we're fine and we'll be okay. And then of course the kids, they might give me a hard time sometimes, but seeing the smiles on their face, and even sometimes their loudness or yelling or whatever, calling my name 50 million times, that
Yeah.
that that keeps me going. And then I have friends and loved ones that I also communicate with, so, and they're always checking up on me because I'm in Korea. We were, like, I think the second country to start having these cases all of a sudden. So, and I
Yeah.
was going on Facebook for a little while, so everybody started being worried, and they were like, "Oh my God, we thought you had coronavirus." I was like, "No, no, 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 I'm fine. I'm protecting myself, so no worries."
Yeah,
So,
and hopefully the worst of it has passed at this point. So I guess we only have one more question for you, and perhaps maybe one of the most important questions. What are you gonna do when this whole lockdown situation is over?
you,
What's the first thing you want to do?
you already know. You already. I want to go back to Ghana. That's my
Oh, okay.
home. I want to go back to Ghana, and then I want to go somewhere that has sandy, clear, white beach. I
Yes.
just want to get out on the sun and travel with my daughter like every day. She's like, "Mommy, I want to go to Africa. Mommy, when are we going back to Africa?" I'm like, "Baby, we can't. Remember what's going on?" She said, "Yeah, because of coronavirus." I
Yeah.
was, that's right. So,
Well,
yeah.
we
Uh-huh.
wanted to definitely like thank you so much for making time to speak with us today. Um we actually have a question coming in. We want to know, how old is your daughter?
She is 4.
She's 4. Okay, so wow, so you're traveling with a young child
Yeah.
when you're traveling, almost just a little bit older than a toddler. Okay, that is wow, that is amazing. Well, I just wanted to say thank you again for so much for sitting down with us and sharing your experience. I know we had a little bit of difficulties there in the beginning, but we made it out strong. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for having me. And you guys, you two stay safe.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I'll make it to Thailand. That's the plan.
Yeah, and hit me up when you do, because we have lots of city shenanigans to get into once everything returns back to normal.
Yes, ma'am. And have you seen? I just wanted to add that what keeps me going. Have you if you probably seen me like with my mask on, but I still go out for my run. Sometimes I just need some fresh air to just kind of
Yeah.
So yeah, I run a lot. I go for walks, and sometimes depending on, we also have to worry about the air quality level here in Korea. So depending on that, I might take the kids out, have them ride their bikes down the street or something like that, just so they can kind of um, relax and get back to it. I understand how they're feeling, so it's not easy for the kids either. So I definitely
Yeah.
understand.
It seems like they're in good hands. It certainly seems like they're in good hands. Yeah, definitely stay safe and best of luck to you. And hopefully we'll be on the other side of this soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. Wonderful to meet you again, Trina.
Yes, ma'am. Au revoir. À bientôt.
Okay,
Annyeong.
so, bye.